Massively multiplayer online role-playing games have been around for decades, but really hit it big in the early 2000s with games like EverQuest, Star Wars Galaxies, and World of Warcraft.
I really wanted to play these games as a kid, but I never got to. Mostly because my family used Mac computers and those games were made for Windows. But also because there was no way in hell I could convince my parents to pay a monthly subscription fee. Well, one summer I stumbled across a free-to-play multi-platform MMORPG. I don't remember how I found it or where it was, but this game left a lasting impression on me. And that game's name is PlaneShift.
PlaneShift is an open-source MMORPG that's being developed by an international team of volunteers, led by nonprofit corporation Atomic Blue. Since the game is being worked on by volunteers in their spare time, progress is slow.
PlaneShift set itself apart from the other MMOs by heavily focusing on role-playing. Players were expected to literally roleplay, pretend or act, as their own unique characters inhabiting this world. While most MMOs have role-playing servers, they are for the most part optional or private. When it comes to PlaneShift, however, you can only play on a role-playing server.
What the game lacks in visual detail, it makes up for in its setting and backstory. The history of PlaneShift is surprisingly deep and well developed. Here's the gist of it. PlaneShift takes place within a stalactite in a cave so big, your mind couldn't even begin to comprehend it. The world inside the stalactite is called Iliacum and is made up of 8 levels. So far, the only playable level is the topmost level known as the Dome.
It's obvious that a lot of time was spent creating this rich and complex world filled with all kinds of unique creatures and religions, cultures, architecture, and more. You can learn more about Iliacum's history on the game's website. But for now, I think I've told you enough to get by. So let's log in and get started.
It's been over 10 years since I last played PlaneShift. I have no idea where my previous character was, or what he was doing, or anything else. So I figured it'd be a good idea to start from scratch and create a new character. First thing we need to do is think of a name. Whatever name we pick needs to fit into a medieval fantasy setting, so names like Elite No-Scope Sniper 420 won't really work. Luckily for us, PlaneShift has a built-in random name generator, so let's take that for a spin. Okay, so all the random names are pretty bad. Let's try thinking of one on our own. How about Jummid Lemon. Jummid Lemond. Now that we have a name, it's time to select our race. Since this is a fantasy game, there are all kinds of races like men, elves, and dwarves to pick from. So let's see what our choices are.
How the hell am I supposed to say after these? Look at them!
Elian, Dermorian, Stonehammer, that one's easy, Enkidukai, Kleros, Cran, I'm not even gonna try this one, Nolthrir, and Lemur. Funny, doesn't really look like a lemur. These all sound good, but I think I'm gonna have to go with the Ilian because, well, he's first on the list. And over here, we can customize his look to make him really stand out.
That's it, I think we found our avatar. Look at this guy. He looks just like Louis C.K. with Mike Tyson's face tattoo. Oh man, I can't wait to start playing.
Next up, we get to pick Jummid's birthday and number of siblings. There's not too much excitement going on here. On the next screen, we can start spending some character points to develop Jummid's backstory. First up are his parents' professions. Well, his dad was obviously a vagabond, but he was only a normal vagabond. Now his mom, on the other hand, she was an exceptional vagabond. To be honest, Dad was a little bit out of his league. Alright, I like how this is looking so far. Let's see if we can keep the momentum rolling. Oh man, there are so many life events to pick from.
I think we should try to pick the most tragic ones, like this one.
The Wrong Twin, where my girlfriend decided to dump me and sent her twin sister to date me. Why would you do this, Bethany? Since I spent most of the character points on his vagabond parents, there's not many options left that we can afford. So I guess we'll have to see what's either cheap or free to pick from. How about a failed career in politics, charm school, joining a fight club, that sounds fun, an unlucky job, and the plague for good measure.
Alright, that about does it. Jummid Lemond, the sole son of vagabond parents who had one very unfortunate life. Let's get started.
Oh, is that it? Thrust into the world with no pomp and circumstance? No NPC to greet me and show me the ropes? Okay, I can deal with that. Let's get going.
Quests are usually the first thing players do when they start playing an MMO, so let's go see if we can find some.
This NPC has no quests for you. This NPC has no quests for you. This NPC has no quests for you.
This NPC has no quests for you!
You know, is a glowing circle or exclamation mark too much to ask for? I mean, you can't tell who has a quest for you and who doesn't without talking to them and being greeted with big, ugly red text in your face. Finally, I found someone who has a quest. All right, Harnquist the blacksmith, lay it on me. Talk with a bunch of people, huh? Boom, 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 consider it done. Although I am having trouble finding that last person. Excuse me, sir, are you Jafreka? I'm looking for Jafreka. Is Jafreka in the house? Does anybody know where Jafreka is?
I want to show you something. Take a look at this picture. Tell me if you notice what's wrong with it. You give up? I found Jafreka. The thing is, he's in someone else's body!
This is just one example of the kind of glitches you can look forward to experiencing in PlaneShift. Some of the common ones that I experienced were random 3D model spasms, bizarre infinite reflections in between environments, and completely pitch black rooms. I eventually found out that if I bumped the graphics up a notch or two, then that would fix the pitch black room problem. But man, I gotta tell you, my computer did not like it. I'm still surprised that my 2012 iMac is only slightly better at running the game than the POS ThinkPad that I first played the game on over 10 years ago.
Did I mention that this game is being made by volunteers in their spare time? I just wanted to reiterate that fact for you.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that questing's not gonna get us anywhere fast. So let's say we just go out and explore the world. Before we do that though, I think it would be a good idea to buy a weapon, in case we come across some enemies. All right, we got ourselves a dagger. Let's go exploring. And here's our first area, the Hydeless Sewers. Who knows what kind of vile creatures skulk around in the dark? Ah, a one-eyed rat! Your hide is mine, you wicked spawn of evil. Take this! Yes, we killed him! I am an unstoppable warrior! Here's another one! Prepare for a swift death, you diseased rodent of putrescence! Oh, well, that was, pathetic. Maybe I should train a bit before I try that again. Alright, you rat bastard, prepare to die! Look who's come crawling back for more! Ho-ho! Death can't stop me! You know what? Fighting is overrated. Now mining is where it's at. Working outside, getting fresh air, and being one with nature. I'm gonna find so much ore, I'm gonna become the wealthiest man alive.
This is so boring.
Nobody likes mining, spending all day baking in the sun, hitting rocks with a hammer. Mining is for chumps.
While I'm more than happy to spend all day getting killed and digging up rocks, to be honest, it gets kinda lonely doing it by ourselves. So let's go see if we can make some friends and try our hand at role-playing.
Before we start role-playing, we need to write a description for Jummid. When you right-click on a player, you have the option to view their character description. So we have to make sure that ours really stands out. A thinning head of flame-red hair frames this middle-aged alien's round, pudgy face. His glazed eyes rest upon bluish-black pillows of fatigue. A red, scratchy goatee borders his thin, cracked lips. He is dressed in a surprisingly modern outfit, yet his clothes are stained and soiled in places best not discussed of in polite company. Chiseled and well-defined are words that are not often used to describe his potato sack physique. A strange smell emanates from his body. It's not necessarily a bad smell, but it's also not a good one either. Now that that's out of the way, we're ready for some roleplay. Here's a friendly fellow. Let's see if we can strike up a conversation. Did you know that guy upstairs is literally giving away spoons? Check out this beauty he gave me just a little while ago. I like this spoon. Maybe that person was just away from their keyboard. Let's go see if anyone else is around. Maybe they will appreciate my spoon. You know, balancing an apple on your head is a cool trick, but not as cool as this spoon I just got. I mean, look at this beauty. It's a marvel of woodworking and craftsmanship.
Sir, it's just a spoon.
Sir, I believe you have found a very interesting spoon.
I think it would be best if I put the spoon away. I'm afraid it's getting too popular.
Yes, indeed. Such a fine piece of woodwork should be admired, but perhaps now is not the correct time. Besides, there might be thieves around.
Well, that was fun. Let's see who else we could find. These people seem to be talking about fighting monsters. Let's see if we can break into this conversation, shall we? Consumers, they're those hideous monsters, what with the teeth and such, right?
Aye, and bad eating habits.
I try to stay as far away from those things as possible.
Not much of a fighter, eh?
Oh no, I can't stand the fighting and the sweat. But you have to learn to protect yourself when you're out there in the big, bad world.
A mage then, or?
Haven't quite the aptitude for the arcane arts. I'm still trying to find out what I'm meant to do, you know?
So, how did you learn to defend yourself?
I fought rats and clackers, but I hated it the whole time. I had to do the whole fight covering my eyes because I did not want to see it.
Sheesh, sure sounds like you're meant for living inside walls.
I'm exploring some careers, you know. Maybe there's a brilliant brewer inside of me waiting to burst out. Or maybe I'm a master lyricist. Who knows what I'm good at? Only one way to find out.
Hey, true.
Later.
Hey, Carolee, remember me? Remember how I said I was trying to figure out my calling in life? I think I found it.
Ha, that being.
I'm going to be a master of stealth botany. I'm going to sneak into people's yards at night and plant beautiful gardens. Just look at these beauties. Hydeless citizens won't know it hit them.
There seems to be a missing step between that and profitability. Besides, what are you going to do when the herbalists go looking for what you've transplanted out from under them?
Well, you see, that's the stealth part. No one will know it was me.
But yes, go chew on that profit word some.
Here's an idea. What if people hired me to get back their plants that I transplanted?
And then the seeds of your own plant's demise are sown.
But, aw, rats. I really didn't think this plan through very well, huh? Looks like it's back to square one.
Well, I thought it was a great idea. Well, let me ask someone else. Maybe they'll agree with me.
Not without the landowner's permission, sir.
Sure. If you want to be fined, imprisoned, or even executed.
That's it. I'm done with PlaneShift. This is a toxic community. I don't need to be a part of this.
So, final thoughts? As a game, PlaneShift is not very good. The graphics are dated, sound design is virtually non-existent, level design is questionable, and combat, well, it's rudimentary at best. Granted, it's still a work in progress, and more often than not, you have to make your own fun. But that's where the game really shines. If you're willing to try a little role-playing, then PlaneShift could be a fun and rewarding experience.
I had a lot of fun back in 2005, and I still had a lot of fun now in 2016, even if the player base is a fraction of what it used to be. PlaneShift will probably never be a mainstream success, but it's worth taking a look at if you're interested in reliving the glory days of an early 2000s MMORPG. My name's Psychotria, and I'll see you in Iliacum.